Hey guys, and welcome back to the Game Not Game podcast. My name is Green, and with me, as always, is my co-host Zen from his channel Zen and Cyrene. How you doing, Zen?
I am doing well. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm also doing well, and I'm very excited because a good friend of mine, ZER0DOXY, from her channel youtube.com/ZER0DOXY, is also joining us. How are you doing, Doxy?
I am hanging in there. I would ask how you're doing, but you just answered that question. So, hi.
Yeah.
Listeners, how are you doing?
Yes. How are you guys doing?
It's terribly rude of me. Listeners, this is Doxy. Doxy, listeners.
Oh, hi. It's so nice
All
to
right.
meet you. You look lovely.
We all know each other now. All right, so what do you guys know about the term Mpreg?
It makes me think of impregnate.
Probably a bit too much.
All right, so for Doxy and anybody else who doesn't know, Mpreg is usually a fan fiction term that refers to a male character getting pregnant. It's really common in, like, for example, Shadow gets pregnant a lot, or Sonic. No, it's Sonic who gets pregnant, and Shadow is, like, his husband. And that's a really common archetype. But it can be anybody. It's also, like, Draco Malfoy gets pregnant a lot.
Okay.
In fanfic. So that's what Mpreg means. And I'm bringing this up because Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear Solid fame has made his own Mpreg story in a trailer for his new game at E3. Have you guys seen this?
Yes.
No.
It's
I've heard that there are things involving a naked Norman Reedus, and that piqued my interest. Yep. I won't lie. I will not lie. But I haven't had a chance to look at it quite yet. But trust me, I will.
Alright, so the name of the game is Stranding. And it is trippy as fuck, the trailer. I think the most remarkable thing about the trailer is it tells you so little about the game. Like, maybe less than we know about any other game at E3.
It's a very Kubrick concept to have a trailer that, like, doesn't tell you much about the piece, I suppose I will call it, the media, whatever. But if Hideo Kojima is, like, equivalent to any kind of movie director, I would definitely put him next to Kubrick.
I agree. Especially after watching this trailer. So, like, the trailer opens up on this weird poem, and then this kind of eerie song plays, and there are, like, handprints and some sand that turn into oil, and then there's a dude connected by an umbilical cord to a baby. And you're like, what the hell is going on? And he's so happy about the baby. He picks it up, he's like, oh man, everything's great. I love my baby. And he starts crying. And then the baby disappears and turns into oil. And he's like, oh man. And then there's little baby handprints around him. And then there's all these dead fish and shit. And he's just standing there and you can see his butt. And there's dudes in the sky. And that's the whole fucking trailer. We don't even know. Like, this could be an RTS. This could be a shitty, like, you know, match 3 game with microtransactions.
Exactly,
we don't
right?
know anything.
This morning I was just thinking that if it was a tower defense game, the internet would just melt down right away.
I'm hoping for another dating sim, personally.
Oh god.
Just the struggles of a single pregnant father, you know?
Yeah, totally. Whose baby turned into oil.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rare condition, but it happens, and those people need love too.
Yeah, it shows him overcoming his struggles.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a visual novel. Confirmed.
So what we do know, of course, is that it's PS4 exclusive.
Oh yeah.
But that's all we know.
Yep.
So it's fucking weird, right?
Yeah, but, you know, it's brilliant at the same time because nobody could stop. Well, I mean, people talked about it, I think, more than anything else from E3 on that day.
Yeah. It totally worked. I think, like, 80% it worked because people like Hideo Kojima and have been, like, looking forward to his next project. But definitely the other 20% is just it stands out.
Yo, I want to say that at least 60% of that is going to be naked Norman Reedus. I'm just saying.
You're right.
I'm just saying.
For half of the population, 60% is the butt.
I had no idea who Norman Reedus was, by the way. I had to Google him afterwards.
Really? You never saw, like, Boondock Saints or anything?
I don't watch movies in general, which is sad, but I don't.
That's so weird. You seem like somebody who would be very into cinema. To me.
I am actually not. I'm the kind of person, again, this is absolutely true. You know, in order to save time from watching horror movies, I just go to Wikipedia and read the twist endings. That's the kind of person I am.
My girlfriend does that.
Oh my god. That also makes sense. Now that you say something that does seem like a hobby that you would have. It does.
I used to write horror stories, you know, and then I just stopped for whatever reason.
Now he just writes the end.
You have to send me some. Like, you have to send me some of your writing. You have to.
They're not very good, but if you really want to see them. Okay, well, I'll send you.
I've never thought to demand them, but I want to read them too.
Yeah, I'll send you guys something later on. It's
next week's game of the week. Oh no, we didn't decide on next week's game of the week.
Oh yeah, we have. Okay, well, how are we going to do this? Well, I guess we'll have to talk about this afterwards.
Check in the description below, and we'll have decided what next week's game of the week is. Whoops. We try to announce those a week ahead of time, Doxy, so that the viewers have time to, if they want to, play the game before we discuss it.
It's Norman Reedus' Bad Butt. That's what next week's game of the week is.
It's gonna be Bad Rats too.
Oh, good. Oh, yes, that was reviewed during E3. Bad Rats show.
Nice segue there. Would you like to tell us about more about Bad Rats? I didn't actually see it live. I only saw the trailer you sent me, so I think you're more knowledgeable on this.
I don't think it was on any presentation or anything like that, because if it was, I think people would have blown away.
Yeah, I would have been very surprised if there was some sort of like major part of a conference that was dedicated to Bad Rats 2.
No, it was part of the PC gaming conference.
It comes right after Kojima's conference.
Bad Rats is one of the best-selling bad games on Steam.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, that guy became an ironic millionaire. Like, that's insane.
And now he's making a sequel. He's cashing in.
Yep, it's called The Bad Rat Show. That's what the name of the sequel is. And honestly, to me, I'll be very honest with you, I was kind of busy and I did not pay much attention to the trailer. I was working at the same time as always, but it seems to me to be more bad rats, and with a really awful grating thing singing in the background as a rat shoots another rat with a bazooka. Yeah,
I couldn't really pick out the lyrics that well, but it sounded like...
Yep. That's a good impression of it. Yep.
Like, it's just this horrible screeching, grating noise that's presumably forming words. Sometimes I can pick them out.
I think they may have snuck a microphone into my bathroom while I was showering, from the sounds of it.
That would make sense. I wouldn't put it past the creator of Bad Rats. He probably, though, he set up some sort of elaborate physics puzzle to get it in there. He didn't just place it himself.
And it took him 15 tries of doing exactly the same thing to, finally get the Rube Goldberg to work.
Yeah.
Dude,
well, you gotta get the RNG right.
Yeah.
Guys, imagine, there are these games on Steam right now, or at least one of them, in which you clear out blocks and then there's this cute anime girl background in scantily clad girl or something. That's your reward, quote unquote, for finishing the puzzle.
Right.
Imagine if Bad Rats had that as an incentive to actually play through the game. Like, you just go through some physics puzzle to just knock over some blocks, revealing a little bit of a girl one at a time.
Or...
I don't want to imagine.
Or... No, hear me out.
What's up?
More rats.
Oh my god, I nearly just spit on my water when you said
Animated shorts of these, pseudo claymation-looking rats.
Dude, it does seem like this game is more focused on the cinematography angle. Like, there seem to be cutscenes in this game.
Yeah.
Geez.
And that makes sense.
They're really stepping up the production value.
If I had, an orchestral score and everything.
Well, I mean, it's got music anyway, as I demonstrated earlier. Yeah. And, they seem to have, overhauled the placement system. It happens in 3D now. I think the original one was 2D, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens in 3D, and you can, you have, tools for placing your rat exactly how you want to. It's crazy.
What if it turns out to be, fucking phenomenal?
What if?
part of me wouldn't be surprised if it was at least a competent game with the amount of work they seem to be putting into it, which would completely defeat the purpose. Like, if it was just an okay physics puzzler, nobody's gonna buy this game ever.
Yeah.
It has to be the worst thing ever so that people, like, fucking play it on YouTube and are like, oh my
or
god,
gift
fuck
it to
this
each
game.
other.
Oh, it's so shitty. Yeah, and then people will start gifting it to each
Yeah.
other. They'll put it on sale for 25 cents and then sell 1 million copies.
Yeah.
And make $250,000. That's how they need to play this.
Yeah. That's
but I'm a little
exactly
bit worried that they're, like, I don't know. The trailer doesn't seem self-aware enough about what Bad Rats 1 was to me. It's a little bit worrisome. Because I feel like they're trying to be like, check it out, we made Bad Rats so much better. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, no. But what
Nobody wants Bad Rats to be good.
What if they made it so much better that it's a goddamn masterpiece, though?
Yeah, that would be one of my favorite things about video game lore.
Yeah, what if it's the next The Witness, or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if Jonathan Blow was a consultant to their company?
Guys, what if this is Frog Fractions 2?
Oh, what if that, yes.
Or Half-Life 3?
Half-Life 3 we already know is Frog Fractions 2.
Nobody has figured out what Frog Fractions 2 is yet. It was supposed to have been released last September or something like that. Nobody has found it.
You remember how, oh god, who's that game developer who made the home invasion puzzler?
Game? I know. Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy, that's his name.
The super weird artsy dude. I forget his name.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh,
so,
man.
why don't you explain the home invasion simulator while I look it up?
Sure. Okay, so he made, God, I can't remember the name of the fucking game either, but he made a game that was like multiplayer about, like, you spend your money to make, like, a defense system in your house so that this dude can't come in and, like, murder your family and take all your shit. And then you play as the burglar and randomly infiltrate other people's homes and try to steal their shit.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah, it was really fascinating, but it kind of, like, people were really smart about it. It got kind of not fun. Because people just min-maxed it and figured out how to make it absolutely impossible to invade their home without being able to, because you have to be able to get in yourself. That's the thing. You have to be able to demonstrate it's possible to get through this.
Okay.
Just like with Mario Maker.
Yeah.
So people figured out how to, like, use some of the obstacles you could make, like trapdoors and shit, to make it so you had to put in a code, like a 4-digit code to get into the house. Similar to how people make crazy, like, computers and shit in Minecraft.
Okay.
So it ended up like all the good players just had that, and you could just look it up on YouTube and copy it. So unfortunately, a lot of the creativity left the game pretty quickly, but it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The name of the game is the Castle Doctrine, and the designer of the game is Jason Rohrer.
Jason Rohrer, that's right. So this guy, completely off topic, did a talk one time and was like, so I'm releasing a game and I buried it in the desert, and there's like part of a obscure map to it under each of your chairs, like fucking Oprah style. And his idea was it's gonna take people at least like 1,000 years to find this game. And he anticipated that human culture would be so different that the languages wouldn't be common or anything. Mm-hmm. So he made the game. It's just like a board game made out of steel figures that he thinks is really good. And he wrote the directions in hieroglyphs so they're like universally understandable. And then he just buried the shit in the desert and won't tell anybody anything about the game until they find it.
We have to find it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where Frog Fractions 2 probably is also. Even though that, I think that took place before Frog Fractions 1 came out.
I love that tangent. That's my favorite tangent.
That was a long one. Yeah, Jason Rohrer does a lot of super weird artsy shit like that.
Yeah,
he's a cool dude.
Before he moved to, he now lives in Davis, California, which is a university town. But before that, I think he was living in like upstate New York, just far away from civilization with his wife and kids. And he had a real life patron back before Patreon was a thing. And that's how he survived for a while. Interesting guy. Yeah?
Wow.
Well, I mean, with genius like that, there's always going to be somebody who sees the potential in somebody like that, you know, that is like somebody that's that like passionate and just off the wall fucking crazy, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you played his game called Passage, by the way?
I've not even heard of it. I am just learning of the existence of this man, and I am already in love with him.
Oh, you should go look up Passage. If you want, I can give you a link later on, or I'll supply a link in the YouTube comments or something. This is how I learned about him, like back in 2008. Because that's his breakout game. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it really made me think after I played it. That's all I'm going to say about it. So
okay, I have it queued up.
Okay, fantastic.
Next week's Game of the Week, Passage.
Oh man, that's going to be a contemplative episode. No, we're not going to actually do that.
No, we aren't. It's very short.
Yeah.
Very, very short.
Yep. And I think that Passage, well, it's not like I've been paying too much attention to the scene nowadays, unfortunately, but Passage is probably one of the strongest arguments I've ever seen for games as art. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also, to me, one of the strongest arguments I've seen for games that are not games, because it really does have almost no gameplay to it.
I still think about it.
I'm sorry?
I still think about it every once in a while.
Yeah, that's not a value judgment at all, but it is, it's difficult for me to categorize it as a game, because there's so little of what you would expect in a game. There's like, you don't really get to choose anything, you just kind of like, watch it happen.
Well, you do, choose. Well, I'm not going, I guess maybe I shouldn't talk too much more about it so that, Doxy can go, and all of you who have never seen the game before, in the, listening to this can go and experience it yourself.
Yeah, maybe I need to play it again. I'm not, I feel like I might be misremembering it based on your commentary on it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I do think when I'm just doing stuff in my daily life, sometimes I think about it. So it's stuck with me for like 8 years.
You know what else I think about sometimes?
What else do you think about?
Porn. And that was at E3 this year.
Was it?
Segue.
There was like a booth for naughty, sexy
Naughty America.
VR, right?
Naughty America?
Naughty America, I'm pretty sure. It was like a legit porn producer. They've been doing all kinds of like interesting high tech shit, and they were demoing their VR porn right there on the floor. You wait in line, you put on the Oculus, and then you watch some VR porn.
Like as if I wouldn't have a big enough of a boner walking around the E3 floor, you know what I mean?
Isn't that convenient though? Because it's not like they have to do very much to make sure that they abide by the rules of the conference, because it's all inside like a visor, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was very, they had a lot of signage that involved like women in lingerie and stuff, but no like porn visible until you wait in line and put on the headset or the Oculus, or I think they were actually using Samsung gears or whatever.
I'm sure they're thrilled about that.
I don't know. It might be a deliberate partnership. That's like, that would be the smart thing to do if you were a VR developer, right? Like, you got to get on board with the porn scene.
Yep. You have to fully embrace that shit so that it fully embraces you back. 100%.
Just like sex.
How does that work though? Because when I think about VR game, it's basically like a sculpted 3D environment in which you can look around, right? That's different from using a camera, right?
Well, the way it works, for like, Oculus ready or VR ready video is they just, they have a circular camera, like a spherical camera.
Oh, those. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So it's not a game. It's a 3D, or what do you call it?
Right.
I don't know. It's a movie that you can watch with a VR headset.
Right. So if you wanted to turn around and look at like the carpet on the floor while you're getting virtually your dick sucked or something, you could absolutely do that.
Precisely. Yeah, I've actually, it's funny you say that because I read an interesting article written by a woman who had experienced VR porn. It was just like, it was kind of weird actually. Like I would just end up being awed by the fact that I could look over and like look at this nice vase on the table. It was just a surreal experience because you could just, you know, in porn, the camera does a pretty good job of keeping you focused on what you're supposed to be focused on. Mm-hmm. But with the VR headset, you can just look around and be like, "Oh wow, this set is kind of nice." Wow, look at this nice light fixture.
Is that chandelier at Tiffany's? Like, yeah,
yeah, precisely that. So yeah, it sounds kind of hilarious to me. Man, I really want a VR headset.
I mean, I can't wait to have a Vive. Like, I'm going to have one. Yeah. Come hell or high water, I'm getting one.
I'm gonna give it a couple years until they've kind of stabilized. I don't want to be, like, ground floor adopter, but yeah, I'm definitely getting one at some point.
I'm still not sold on it, to be honest with you. Not that I hate the idea, it's just, I don't know, I'm not particularly fired up by it either.
I am. I would get
really
one
cool.
right now if I had any money. Like I would get one right now.
See that? So I think we're 3 different stages. I'm convinced the technology is going to be there at some point. I'm not like, VR is stupid, but I don't like. I think at this early stage, we don't know how fast it's going to progress, how fast the technology is going to become obsolete, and you're just like, fuck it, no, give me a VR right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to borrow $800 and go down to the Vive store.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not
Mom,
there. I have a feeling within 2 or 3 years, I think they're probably going to come down a few $100s, and then I'll probably pick one up.
Yeah, or Nintendo will come out with its own whatever is N access.
Dude, Nintendo's going to come out with VR in 20 years, and it's going to be bad.
Yeah, it's going to be like only cartoon style. Like there's going to be no lifelike qualities at all to like the stuff that you're looking at. It's just going to be like fully animated.
Oh man. I do think that we have reached some kind of inflection point for VR though, in which it's definitely coming mainstream. Whether it sticks around now or turns into something else, I don't know yet. But we've definitely hit a point that it's a thing now, basically.
It's in the public consciousness. Dude, actually, I was just having beers with my friend last week, and I brought up something about VR. Like, I don't remember what the fuck we were talking about, but he's not a video gamer. Like, we don't have that in common. But I brought up VR for some reason, and he was like, what? Like, is that actually a thing? He thought it was fucking science fiction when I explained to him what an Oculus Rift is.
That's depressing.
Yeah, it blew me away.
That bums me out.
It's not as much in the public consciousness as I think we think it is.
Huh.
Yeah.
But it is, like, it's getting there for sure.
Well, once those headsets get into Best Buy or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's still so fucking hard to get one. That's the thing. It's not like, you have to be really cued into tech news to understand that they're a thing that exists. Because to get one, you had to, like, drop $600 and then wait 6 months.
Well, I mean, think about it this way, though. Like, Sony is a household name. Microsoft is a household name. HTC is borderline a household name, you know? So, so I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have some very good marketing once the supply meets the demand. And
I think so too.
Everybody is gonna know. And
that's how I feel too. Like, it's gonna be a thing in a while, but it's not yet.
Yeah. I think that it's past the point of failure. You know what I mean? Like, I think that, like, no matter how poorly this cycle does, like, they're just gonna keep coming at it better and better now. I think that VR is the absolute future of video gaming.
I agree. You know, Facebook put, what, $1 billion into it?
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna just disappear after that.
Yeah, no. Like, even if it fails miserably, it's not gonna just go away.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I hope not. But I was just thinking about something just now when I was talking about Best Buy, and it's this, right? When I first heard about the 3DS, I thought that there's no way. It can't be real. What they're describing cannot be real. You know, like, I'm looking at this screen as 3-dimensional, you know. And then I saw it at the Best Buy, and then I was like, holy shit, it's true. You know, this is magic.
Yeah.
And,
this is the future.
And I just don't even whenever I do touch my 3DS, I never turn on the 3D. Just never, And I'm not saying that this is
pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this is a one-to-one case of VR. VR, there's not just one company doing it. It's a more widespread thing. But what I am saying is that people just get very blasé about what was once revolutionary technology. It could either go to now everyone has it, or nobody cares about it.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I have to say about that. With the 3DS, it's purely a cosmetic thing. It doesn't actually, that doesn't give you any extra information.
Yeah,
right? You look at it and it's just like, oh, it's a neat gimmick. This is kind of cool.
There's no way to interact with the 3D-ness.
Yeah, the Oculus, I need to stop branding it, but VR headsets in general, escalate what you can do. Like we were talking earlier about the porn. It might not be a great thing for porn, but in a porn video, you cannot look to the left and check out the table.
Right.
And with an Oculus headset, that gives you new abilities that you didn't have before. And I think there's all kinds of potential uses for that. And that's why I think it's going to have more staying power than something that's purely a gimmick.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, for example,
that's a good point.
When the DPI gets high enough on VR headsets, I think that, for a certain subset of people, that'll phase out monitors. Because with a monitor, if you need a lot of monitor space, you're going to take up your whole fucking desk with 3 monitors, and people do this. Mm-hmm. If you could have a virtual desktop that completely surrounds you, like a 180-degree sphere in front of you, then that would be incredibly useful for a lot of people.
Definitely.
Okay. So, have you heard of this company called Magic Leap?
No.
So, what you're talking about, I think Magic Leap is actually going to do this faster than Oculus or whatever, or whichever other companies, right?
Interesting.
And that's just search for Magic Leap, and there's a Wired article about how it's the world's hottest startup, even though nobody's really ever heard about it except people paying attention to tech news.
So, by what definition of hottest are we speaking here?
As in, let's see. I'm trying to look down. It's like it's gonna burn your fucking
face.
yeah, exactly.
It's just a very high temperature startup. We're in Death Valley.
Yeah, it's called Magic Leap because you're going to have to do that to jump off a volcano. No. No, the reason why the Wired article calls it the hottest startup is just the amount of money it's attracted.
Huh.
Right, and
wow.
I wish I had a number for you right now, but basically, yeah, they did a Series C founding round. Their startup is now valued at $4.5 billion, and nobody's heard of this company, basically.
Yeah, what on earth?
Yeah. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
And what they do, because I haven't really talked about it at all, is they do augmented reality. Right.
Oh,
so
interesting.
When you talked about desktop stuff in which you're interacting with your desktop while looking around, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, augmented reality is something that I am desperate to experience.
Same. And that's strongly related, right, to the HTC Vive, especially as that camera.
Yep.
That allows you to do that kind of thing.
Yep.
So what kind of hardware are we talking about with Magic Leap? What do they have to?
That's the other thing about it. They haven't really shown it. And it's already valued at that much. So it could be just insane, stupid hype like the Segway, right? The Segway was supposed to revolutionize transportation, and that didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Did not.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember.
That was something else.
And the hoverboard.
Yeah.
They just brought it out because they had to prove Back to the Future right, even though the technology is just not there.
Yep. So it could be that this company is just going to be absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But it could also be the future of desktop space. Who knows?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I fully expect VR technology and Google Glass to coincide at some point, or something similar to that, so that you can have glasses where you can see the world around you, but also superimpose something onto that image. Like, for example, you could be like, okay, Google Maps, I want to go to X place, and then Google Maps will put a waypoint into 3D space for you that you can see through your glasses.
Yeah, I want it so bad. I want it so bad. There's the more close to Minority Report my reality becomes, the happier I will be.
Yeah, I find this kind of shit really neat as well. Looking forward to it.
To be really precise, what Magic Leap is trying to do is it's working on a head-mounted retinal display that projects a quote-unquote digital light field into the user's eye.
Excuse me.
I know, right? It sounds like something out of like an 80s.
Hang on. So it's got a display that projects light into your eyes. How is that different from a TV?
I don't know.
But it's head-mounted, I guess. How is it difficult from an Oculus?
Well, it's not like you're in an environment. It's not taking you away from reality. Let's put it that way. It's superimposing imagery onto real world objects.
Right.
Honestly, it just sounds like a shitty James Bond torture when you put it that way. A head-mounted light field that is beamed into your eyeballs.
You see, Mr. Bond.
No, seriously, do you see, though? We're testing this.
Do you like one or two better? Okay, how about A or B?
Oh man.
I went to get a new eyeglasses prescription for the first time in like 8 years recently, and I forgot about the glaucoma test where they just fucking shoot air into your eye. And he was like, okay, just put your chin here, and then just shot air into my eye. I was like, holy shit, what? And he was like, yeah, I didn't tell you about that. I didn't tell you about that, so it'd be easier to get the reading. But I was like, it's gonna be a lot harder with the other eye, man. He was a good dude.
Oh, man.
That doctor.
Oh, I never told you about Did you get that eye drop in your eye when you went to the eye doctor? Oh,
no, I was so fucking. I hate that shit. And I was like, God damn it. That was like what had stopped me from getting a new prescription for so long. And then he didn't do it.
Like diluting your eyes, you mean?
Yeah, dilating.
Like
dilating your eyes.
Diluting your eyes.
You did not dilute my eyes.
Now there is a fucking James Bond torture. Diluting your eyeballs.
So, the reason I bring this up is because I don't think I ever told you about what happened to me the very first time that happened to me, right? Or what I did
I don't think
to just
so.
completely embarrass myself, right?
I'm so excited.
I can't wait.
So, I got that drop in my eye to dilate my eyes, and that was the first time ever that they ever did that to me, right? Mm. So, they told me, oh, you know, your eyes are going to be sensitive towards light for a while. Yep. So I say, okay, that's fine. And when the whole eye test was over, they gave me one of those like temporary black, sunglass kind of not things. It's like an insert.
The granny glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not even a real glasses, you just, because I wear eyeglasses, right?
Right. So like it's just like the thing you clip onto your eyeglasses, or not even clip, but just like,
yeah, it just slip in between my nose and my eyeglasses, right? So I went back to the car, and Cyrene was driving me. I went back to the car with those things on because I was thinking, oh god, it's going to be so bright. And I found my actual pair of sunglasses in the car, so I said, you know what? One's good, two might be better. So I put those on as well.
Okay.
Right? So we went back home, and when we reached home, the postman was there, and he had a package or something, I don't remember. So I got down, and I couldn't really see what he had for me. So I looked at him and said, oh yeah, well, give me a moment, I'm going to take off my glasses. So I took off one pair of glasses and the other one was still on. So he looked at me like I had performed the world's shittiest magic trick or something.
You're like that bucket-headed man. Only with glasses.
Yep, exactly.
That was really good.
Or that time that J. Smith OTI took off his shirt.
Did that?
You guys don't remember?
No. What?
Oh god, people in his chat would always pressure him to take off his shirt, and then one day he was like, okay, alright, fine, you talked me into it. And he took off his shirt, and under it he was wearing a J. Smith OTI shirt, and it was the fucking best thing in the world.
I do remember that.
It was amazing.
That was real good.
Yep.
And he just acted like nothing happened too. He was fucking cool as a cucumber. It was amazing.
Yep. I think Chad lost your mind when he did that, which shouldn't be a surprise.
Oh, definitely.
We were a bunch of rabid apes at that point. It was nuts. I fucking love Joshua Smith on the internet. I love that man.
I love him in real life.
Yeah, I also love him in real life.
All right.
So did you guys hear about Snoop Dogg's appearance at E3?
No.
Oh, wow, you actually sent me the link, but why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, so EA was doing a Battlefield 1 presentation. Had a few celebrities there, actually. I don't remember the other ones, but
Zac Efron and Jamie Foxx.
There you go. Nailed it. So they had a few celebrities playing Battlefield 1, not to be confused with the first Battlefield game. This is actually like the 6th Battlefield game. It's called Battlefield 1. Mm-hmm. And they had Snoop Dogg there, and he was totally straight up smoking a blunt on camera while he was playing Battlefield 1.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me even a little bit.
It was incredible.
Have I ever told you that Snoop Dogg was one of the first concerts I ever went to?
No. Wow.
Okay, yeah, he smoked a lot of blunts there too. And like the minute that he came out on stage, he just had these 2 handles of gin. And like he was carrying one in each hand, right? On either side of them. He was walking abreast of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And,
sure.
And like he comes out of the dark, like, okay, a light flickers down onto the stage. And he walks out from around behind the back of the set, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's holding these and he starts rapping and just turns them upside down and is just fucking pouring them on the stage. Just rapping and walking around. Pouring gin all over the stage. The motherfucker is such a G. I want to be Snoop Dogg. Like, that had to have been like $500 of gin because, like, knowing his fucking taste in gin, you know? Yeah. Like, god damn it, I want to be Snoop Dogg.
I really didn't register in my head who Snoop Dogg was until the time in which there was this time on the internet in which people were mashing up Thomas the Tank Engine with Snoop Dogg, and that's when he really started showing up in my consciousness.
He's the best. Did I mention I was like 14?
No.
I was like 14.
Nice.
Yeah. I had a very wholesome childhood. Speaking of that segment of E3, that's like the only thing that I've actually seen of E3 was a little bit of that segment. And that's where finger guns that I referenced earlier came from. Like, he was transitioning, like the guy that was interviewing Zac Efron and Jamie Foxx. He was like transitioning back to whatever network he was broadcasting for. And he like puts his fingers up like they're guns, right? And he goes, and he just does it for an uncomfortably long amount of time. And like the camera transitions to the other people that are like up next or whatever. And then you just hear him still going, and then he goes, finger guns. It was so good.
Did he have a reason for doing that?
I don't remember. I was laughing so fucking hard though.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen a lot of non-charismatic. That's not the right term, but
it was the cringy shit.
Yeah, cringy is the perfect term. I've seen a lot of cringy stuff at E3.
Yeah.
Every year, man. Every year. There is, like, they don't know how to mix charisma and knowledge at all for E3.
Did you guys see the demon summoning that Ubisoft did?
No.
It's so fucking weird, dude. Their, like, intro to their, to their conference was just, like, this... They did a musical thing, and this woman was, like, playing a drum and making, like, super fucking weird noises into the mic. Just like... It just, like, sounded like monster sound. It sounded like... in a horror movie, like somebody speaking in tongues. That's what she was doing. And then, like, there were a bunch of people doing eerie chanting, and it was so weird.
I was watching the PC show at the time, so I missed that part.
Man, yeah, I caught it, in post. I just asked people, like, hey, is there anything I need to know about E3 before I talk about it on a podcast? I didn't watch any of it live. I just, like, I don't know, man. Most of E3 I find kind of intolerable.
I love E3, man.
It's fun in its own way.
I hate it.
I love it so much. Last year's was so good. But the thing is, we were talking about this last night, about how, like, they can't find somebody who is able to be a presenter who also is a gamer. So, like, everything is going to be a little bit cringy. Like that Yoko Ono shit that you just described. Like, like not everybody can be Todd Howard, you know?
Yeah.
Like, those dudes come around once in a fucking lifetime.
Well, the Ubi show at least had that one Jason, I can not remember his name, Verhage or something like that. The guy who presented the For Honor show. Like the guy the big bearded guy who just has this incredible stage presence. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, look up the E3 presentation for Honor last year or this year. That is a guy whom I want to be the dungeon master for my next D&D campaign. Like, he's that good. So it's
Zen
not going to
takes
make
the best dungeon masters.
I'm sorry, what was it?
I said that's high praise. Zen only takes the best dungeon masters.
It's true. Yeah, but I'm not even sure how to describe it. It's like he just walked out of Game of Thrones or something. And just was not in a Renaissance fair, I'm so awkward kind of way, but like, you know, it's like kind of a badass kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah, he just got off the stage, was like, more mead! Oh man. So Ryan, Northern Lion was on this fucking super weird, like, Twitch panel that I saw earlier today with, like, just a bunch of other Twitch streamers, and they all had shitty microphones, and then there was a horrible presenter, and they were just, like, talking about the show, and it was so awkward and terrible. And a lot of it was, there was this one guy, I can't remember his name, but there's this one guy who was some Twitch streamer who was, like, clearly drunk. I was like, why is this drunk guy just, like, hanging out, like, just ever talking over everybody? He's just shouting, literally shouting, about everything, like, all his opinions on games and everything. And then at a certain point, he was just like, yeah, they were giving away free beer, you know, last day. It's just like, oh my god.
Oh my god, you have to link me to that. I have to see it.
It was on, twitch.tv/Twitch earlier today. I don't know how to link it more than that.
I live for this.
But yeah, and then, like, you know, Ryan got to talk a little tiny bit, but he and Man vs. Game were actually, like, off on, like, a secondary screen that they, like, you know, there were two cameras pointing at two different groups of people, and they were on the one that was almost never displayed. But every once in a while they'd go over to him, and he sounded so weird because he was on this shitty microphone where, you know how his voice is, like, deep and booming and resonant? Like, this took all of that out, and he just sounded like a high school kid or something. It was so,
oh
it was
my god,
so strange.
I have to see all of this. It sounds like the best drug trip. It sounds so good.
No, I was really sad for everybody involved. I was just like, this is the worst fucking panel, and Ryan must feel just like, what can I do to improve this? There's nothing I can do. I'm not even on the screen half the time.
I bet that dude is in good humor about it.
I'm sure.
To be able to roll with the punches pretty well.
No, he rolled with it just fine, but it must have been, you know, frustrating to a certain extent anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird thing.
You should also go and look up they call it the pre show for E3, the Twitch show. Mm-hmm. This was the one that Nick was talking about just before Sunday, right? In which people were going to drink foot water or something.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, the foot.
Yeah, they were talking about that on my stream the other night, I think.
Yeah, that's a thing you should watch because of how odd it is too. And
yeah, I can't believe I didn't think to watch that before the podcast.
Yeah, so we might end up talking about it again next week. I don't even know.
We'll try to. That's next week's game of the week is foot water.
You put the foot in the water.
Yeah, you put the foot in the water.
Yep, and then you drink it.
Yep. You chug it. You shotgun it.
How do you shotgun a foot tub of water?
You poke a hole in one side with a pen.
Man.
Yeah.
I guess so. Man, I haven't gone drinking in like more than a decade, so
I'll be honest, I've never shotgunned a beer.
I'm garbage at it. I can take a beer bong in less than 3 seconds, but I have never been able to shotgun a beer.
Take a beer bong in less than 3 seconds.
I can. Like, I'm impressively good at beer bonging.
That quote makes me think of Star Wars.
Actually, You know what? It's not quite true what I said. I drink every time I go see my boss. This is absolutely true, but not to that extent.
Yeah, you guys don't go out and shotgun PBR.
No. The CEO of my company is like this 70-year-old guy. No, we drink, like, we sit around and drink, basically. So me saying that I haven't drank in like a decade, it's an absolute lie.
Right. But no, you said you hadn't gone out drinking, and there's a difference.
Yeah. Going out drinking means the end game is, like, crying on your bathroom floor.
Yeah.
You know, like, is getting shitty.
There's
but,
social
like,
drinking, and then there's
having
going
a
out
couple
drinking.
drinks with your boss is not going out drinking.
Yep.
I wouldn't categorize it as that anyway.
Same.
This is going to sound really sad, but the closest I've ever been to drunk, and I maintain that I've never been drunk, the closest I've ever been to drunk was when I was recording Cook Serve Delicious while drinking.
Were you drinking, like, cooking sherry or something?
Oh my god, that would be...
He got into his parents' liquor cabinet.
No, I was drinking sake, so pretty close.
No, sake is fine.
Yeah.
You say you've never been drunk? Ever?
I've never been drunk. No.
You always tell me how low your alcohol tolerance is. How do you know that if you've never even been drunk? What if you could just drink forever and never get drunk?
Like, you know, I've never been drunk in a stupor. Maybe there will be a better way of putting it, because I retain all my memories.
Like, fall the fuck down.
Oh, yeah, you've never been blackout drunk. Yeah, I've never been
blackout drunk.
I've never been blackout drunk either, but I've been very, very drunk.
God, I'm so jealous. It is like the most anxiety-ridden thing, having to relive your night from pictures that your friends have taken of you.
I bet. Yeah.
It's awful. You're just like, oh god, Dude. In which one of these am I going to be making out with a stranger? Like, it's real bad.
I just feel too shitty before I get blackout drunk. Like, there's a certain point where I'm like, no, I'm too sick to drink anymore.
Me too.
Yeah, and that's way before I get blackout drunk.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, we liked to puke and rally, is the thing.
Yeah. No. I've never done that. I've never been that dumb about it.
Yep. That was the closest I ever came to being sick from drinking, when I was doing the Cook Serve Delicious thing. And then after that, I went on HJ Tenchi's stream and complained about it. That's all I remember.
Oh, I've burst into HJ Tenchi's stream drunk off my ass before. I made him sing duets with me all night.
Oh my god.
Sure, he was so into that.
He loved it. First I made him sing What's New, Pussycat.
Nice.
And then I was just like, okay, we gotta do a duet. And so he's just like, all right, pick a song. So I picked A Whole New World, and I was like, except for I'm gonna be Aladdin and you're gonna be Jasmine. And it was amazing. We knocked it out of the fucking park. And then after that, we did the one from Dirty Dancing. And those videos are still up on YouTube somewhere. And if you haven't seen them, I recommend them, because we were... you know what? I'm just gonna say it. We were as charismatic as Jackie and JFK. Like we were on point. We were on fucking fire.
Wow, that's a really strong recommendation.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Oh man. All right.
I have no shame whatsoever.
So, we didn't actually get to talk about any of the games we liked from E3. Which is fine. It's absolutely fine, by the way. But just very quickly, was there anything that stood out for the both of you from E3?
Well, the only things that I really know about, that I'm probably gonna give any shits at all about, really, are, the Kojima, obviously, and, Zelda.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of the Zelda franchise, so.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Not a huge fan of the Zelda franchise. I basically stopped at the Game Boy one, which I thought was fantastic. Mm-hmm. But the new Zelda did interest me a lot. Not enough for me to buy a Nintendo console, but I thought it was the most interesting Zelda, at least from the trailer anyway, to come along in a while.
Yeah, that's my thing as well. I don't own any consoles, so nothing not PC could have appealed to me. And I actually, my exposure to E3 was mostly, let's find some ridiculous shit to talk about on the podcast. So, for that reason, more than like, I'm not making any kind of blatant statement about the quality of this year's E3 offerings, but from what I saw of it with that filter in mind, I'm not interested in anything I saw.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dishonored 2 also. That's a game I'm interested in, so I'll check it out
shit,
when it comes out.
Dishonored
also
2.
Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2. I am probably interested in.
Yeah, I wonder if we can talk anybody into playing that with us.
Yeah, only this time not like 2 years after it fucking came out and everybody's done playing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm willing to pay that much more than $10 for it, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's the thing. Yeah, one time we tried to get people to play Titanfall with us, and Doxy and I were like, oh, this is so much fun, we're in giant robots, and everybody else was like, I hate this.
Yeah, it was so lame. Nobody was loving it except for me and Green. And it was so highly anticipated. We had been trying to get people to play it for months.
Yeah.
And like, I think I bought it for like 3 people just to get people to play it with us. And then when we finally did play it, like me and Green were like, woohoo, like time of our lives. And everybody else was just like, nope, don't want to, let's play something else.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Titanfall's a fun game, man. Like, it's not
really fun.
It's not deep. It's not something I would put like 500 hours into, but it's a rip-roaring time for a little while anyway.
Yeah, dude. And apparently with all the newer content, it's like a whole brand new video game too.
Huh. Yeah, so Titanfall 2. I'll probably check that out when it fails horribly and goes on sale for $5, like happened to the first one. Looking forward to that. Anyway, Zen, what did you think about SteamWorld Heist?
Yes, our game of the week, SteamWorld Heist. I've only played it for about 2 hours or so, but I liked what I played of it. It's a interesting game. It's like a side-scroller turn-based strategy game, right? Would you say?
Yeah, it's side-scrolling XCOM is how I would describe it.
Did you get a chance to play it, Doxy?
No. I'm gonna be honest, that style of video game just is not for me.
Yeah, which is totally legitimate. Like, a lot of people aren't into it. I love XCOM a lot. So
yeah, Michael is really, really into those. And I love watching them. Just playing them. Like, I can't wrap my brain around, like, it's like chess, man. I can't think that many moves ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like this game is simple enough that you'd probably be able to get into, at least so far. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far into it, but so far, it's been, like, very casual XCOM. It's not like, you know, oh no, I have to be really careful with every move. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna direct these guys through and shoot a bunch of dudes in the head and get some bags of stuff. Yeah.
So it is to XCOM what, like, Awesome Knots is to League of Legends?
That's a pretty good comparison. So far, anyway.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm not that far into the game either, so it might get harder. It does have difficulty levels, though. Like, as super... You know, you could just turn the difficulty all the way down and probably just traipse through the game.
Yeah.
How far did you get into the game?
I got to the second bar and then a couple missions after that.
Okay. Just so that we can paint a picture about the game here. The game takes place in outer space, basically in another star system. Yeah. And you play these robots, and you're in the ship, you're outlaws, I believe. And so you go around trying to get water. Water is the most precious commodity in this game, and it's a tradable commodity, and other kinds of loot by invading other questionable robot types. Is that about right? Yeah, you're quote unquote outlaws, but you're fighting against like these guys called scrap bots who actually like go and fuck with settlements and steal their shit and are just assholes basically. Like they're the bad cowboys. And you're the good cowboys. Yeah.
And it's like a Wild West setting, but in outer space, and you're steampunk robots, which carries straight over from SteamWorld Heist, SteamWorld Dig, which was their first game, which was a really cool, like, kind of puzzly, vaguely Terraria-ish, like, mining / combat game that was really cool.
I adored it. Yeah. I really liked it.
I loved the shit out of that game.
Yeah.
And it totally carries that aesthetic over if you played that.
I haven't played it. I should check it out, though.
You should. It's really
I haven't. Yeah.
I think I might have an extra copy that I could...
Oh, no. I have SteamWorld Dig.
Okay.
Yeah, but thank you, though.
Yeah.
Did you get to the mission? Let's say, for example, I don't really think that SteamWorld Dig it's without challenge, so to speak. Excuse me, SteamWorld Heist. Like, if you don't think ahead even just a little bit, I think you could get destroyed on the default difficulty.
I bet so, yeah. Right. And I think that's, like, probably a lot of it is I'm used to XCOM and the consequence of choices there. So for me, it's second nature. Like, okay, get everybody in cover. Like, don't just, like, walk a dude into 3 dudes and get him shot. Like, of course you could make mistakes, but to me, like, so far, it seemed very simple compared to the early game of XCOM. Let's put it that way.
It seems, I mean, I'm not saying it's difficult, but I'm saying that I could easily see somebody who is not experienced with those conventions getting, like, wiped.
I can see that
pretty early on.
Yeah. But, you know, that's the case for XCOM, but turned up to 11, right? Like, with XCOM, you will get wiped multiple times before you understand what you're doing in that game. And with this game, you know, you'll make one big mistake and be like, oh, my dude's, like, not in a place he should be. Maybe I should be a little bit more cautious. And the tutorial is also, I think, pretty good about showing you, like, maybe you should set up your dudes and then open the door, you know? I don't know. Yeah, I could see somebody having trouble with it, but not nearly as much as you would with XCOM. Like, I think it's a good introduction to this style of gameplay. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was originally released in the 3DS, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
so
the Wii U
I imagine,
as well.
Yeah, the audience for those consoles is a little bit younger, so it's a good introduction for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it came out alongside, didn't it? Alongside PC?
No, the PC version just came out like a week or so ago.
Yeah, I've been seeing screenshots of the Nintendo versions for a long time and been waiting for it to come to PC.
My bad. I totally this, like, cause I've been aware of it for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I really liked SteamWorld Dig.
Same. Yeah, I've been aware of it since before they made the official announcement and before they said what kind of game it was.
Yep. I got an email from them. One of the devs caught my SteamWorld Dig stream when I did one. And
nice.
He emailed me and was like, we're actually working on another blah, blah, blah. I'd be happy to send it to you. And I was like, okay, I'm excited. Like, but once I found out what it was, I was like, ooh. But like, at first, like, before I knew what it was, I was like, fuck yes, send me anything you ever make. And then I found out that it was going to be an XCOM style, and I was just like, ooh,
yeah.
Okay, oh god.
I don't know. If I were you, I might give it a shot, but I would understand if you didn't like it.
Yeah, definitely. I have a code for it sitting in my email. I probably have more than one.
I like it. It's still
definitely got a bunch of emails about it.
It's still got that cool, like, charming aesthetic going on. It is still, it's got a lot of the charm of SteamWorld Dig, but it is 100% a different style of gameplay.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it, but I can't promise that I'll like it.
Maybe give it to Mike.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I think he would probably like it more than me, like, just based off of what I know about it.
Yeah. That's fair enough. So I had a good time. I never got to a point that challenged me at all, like I said, but I blew through several missions and was having fun. It has a cool loot system. That's one thing I really like, is every mission there are these bags of loot to pick up, and most of them are just shitty bags that will usually contain a little bit of water, sometimes will contain something neat like a medkit, and then there's also epic loot every mission that's kind of more hidden that will give you something like a new weapon. I've got, like, for example, I got a really cool, like, scoped pistol that cripples enemies when you shoot them so they can't move out of one of my epic loots.
You know, speaking of that, I'm definitely not as good as you when it comes to these kinds of games, which made the gameplay experience for me a little bit interesting because that epic loot, right? Mm-hmm. There was one mission in which I just barely made it out of the mission zone.
Right.
I was around the same place as you. I had unlocked the second bar already. I just barely made it out because I made some tactical errors that exposed my troops and then I got hit a bunch of times, right?
Sure.
And I'm sure on higher difficulty levels or when you get further into the game, the idea of kind of like pushing your luck a little bit to get to that epic loot or to collect all the loot on that ship versus just getting the hell out of there. You know, I kind of like that kind of tension.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So
what does happen when you die? I never found that out.
I don't know what happens when you die exactly, because I never did, right? Nor did I lose any of my soldiers. I just had like a guy with like 1 HP left.
Oh man.
And you know, I was so close that basically the enemy missed the shot, and that was the only reason I got out.
Oof.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't exactly know what happens when you die. I do know that the game charges you the currency, the water. Like, if you want to abort the mission, you will lose some of your currency, so I never did that.
Okay.
So there are some consequences for sure.
Oh,
I don't know what.
You can just abort mid-mission?
Yeah, but then you have to spend money to do that.
Interesting.
And I didn't want to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I do wonder... Like, it can't be permadeath for your dudes, right? Maybe it is.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd be very shocked if it was. Maybe you have to pay to put them back together or something.
I don't even think it'll go that far. I think they might make you redo, just, you know, go back to your save point. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was that. But, yeah, I'm not sure.
That loot system does sound really cool.
Yeah, I like the loot system a lot. It makes it, you know, it's more exciting than just do mission, get reward. It's like, oh, I did this mission, and now I get to open a bunch of bags that could have neat stuff in them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. And I will say also that for some missions, there's an alarm being tripped or something. And then, as you're, there's a set number of enemies that you have to kill in order to kill everyone on the ship. Yeah. And then if you haven't picked up all the loot, then you can do so, right? But there's some ships in which when the alarm rings, there's enemies just keep spawning in.
Yeah.
So you have to, so it's not like a cakewalk after a while. It keeps the tension up.
Yeah, I went to one ship where it was, like, the moment I walked in, it was like, okay, there's an 8-turn countdown, and after that, we're just gonna start spawning dudes at you. And I got probably like 75% of the way through the ship before the alarm tripped, and then there were just like 5 dudes chasing me down by the end. But I did manage to get everything off, because the dudes that it spawns, for me, like, they didn't seem that hard. Most of them were one-shots, but they were just, you know, they kept something happening on screen so you weren't just wandering through the ship aimlessly picking up all your loot.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Tactically, yeah, me too.
Yeah, that is cool.
So, what do you think? What is your your impression of SteamWorld from how much you played of it?
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, so far it seems like a competent XCOM-like, and the 2D aspect is really interesting. It works better than I expected, actually. Also, there's kind of a skill shot system to it, in that, like, you know, in XCOM you roll a die when you shoot at somebody, which can be really annoying when it's like, oh, 95% chance to hit, oh, I fucked it up. In this game, you aim your gun manually, and some characters get laser sights and some don't. So, and you can bounce bullets off of walls, so you can get some trick shots going on.
Do trick shots do more damage?
No, but, like, for example, say a dude's, like, hiding behind a barrel, you normally wouldn't be able to shoot them at all, but if you, like, do a sick bank off of a wall, then you can still hit them in the head and kill them.
Okay.
So that, to me, I like that a lot better than the RNG system. I think that's a really strong, system that they've made. And it feels really good, too. Like, it just feels really satisfying to aim your gun carefully and shoot a guy in the head.
I won't lie though, I got into trouble a few times doing that, because I'm like, yeah, look at this, I'm going to do this trick shot, and then I end up exposing myself without realizing it.
Like, you do a trick shot and then hit your own fucking cover and break it?
Well, it's more like, you know, there's a guy above me, and there's like a little break where there's a ladder or something, and then I try to shoot my bullet so that it ricochets 3 times and hits the guy, but then I didn't realize that I broke cover to do that.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And then some other guy I didn't realize could actually shoot at me actually did, and then I got into trouble.
Yeah, I think that kind of thing is just the discipline you learn playing a lot of XCOM. It's like, you don't break cover to do anything. you go to cover, and then you figure out from there, how can I shoot at the enemies? And the cover is super effective. Like, the enemies, I don't know, on the difficulty I'm playing on anyway, the enemies are incredibly bad at shooting over cover. Like, they'll make very bad decisions to try to shoot you in cover and completely whiff over and over again. So the cover is, like, super important.
One thing, we are quite early into the game, so maybe later on we'll have smarter enemies, but for now,
probably
it's like that.
Yeah. I'm sure later on enemies will be throwing grenades and stuff, but against these basic enemies, the cover is a very important system.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also enjoyed the game from the 2 or 3 hours that I played of it. It has a really striking visual style. For those of you who are familiar with SteamWorld Dig, you know what that style is. And the combat is well done from what I played. It was there were some tense moments for me, as a person who's not fantastic at these kinds of games. But I'm sure that if you play it at a higher difficulty, or if you get further and further into the game, then you also feel these moments of tension, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. SteamWorld is a good series. I can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah, I'm excited for whatever is to come as well.
A visual novel.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Dating sim.
Before we go to there, I had promised Green a crazy update to Beach Bounce.
Yeah.
Right. So, Doxy, and for those of you who don't know, Beach Bounce is a stupid visual novel that I've been playing on my channel, right? Because I do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the idea behind Beach Bounce is that you are this, the grandson of a resort owner, and you are taking over because the owner is sick, right? And of course, all these girls are falling all over you, like in an anime game, usually, right? So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so these games, I guess they're kind of popular because I saw a Kickstarter update, right? This past Sunday, so a few days ago. The creator of Beach Bounce had launched a Kickstarter for a sequel to Beach Bounce. Alright? And not only did it get, and I'm going to bring it up real quick here. I do apologize for not bringing this up sooner, but I had totally forgotten about it. So, alright, so here it is. So the original, he had asked not for very much money to continue on the series. He had asked for $4,386.
What?
I don't even know why. Right?
Okay.
It's a really arbitrary number. I don't know.
No, he mapped it out exactly how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
But this game's really popular apparently because it's almost $40,000 now funded. I know.
Jeez,
Oh my fucking
Right?
god. And this is and this game has awful writing.
It's so bad. Oh my god. It drove me completely insane when I was playing it. I don't even know if I want to continue playing it.
God damn it.
Here's the problem, right? This is not even the mind-blowing part. The mind-blowing part is this, right? Because he had gotten so much more money, I guess. I don't know if it's all in the stretch goals or something. Now it's not just a sequel to Beach Bounce. It's a whole series of sequels.
Oh, good.
Oh my goodness.
Something like 9 of them. 9 sequels have been found. I'm not even joking, right?
Well, he did get 10 times the amount of money he asked for, right?
Yeah. I know, and he is going to release them through to 2017, 1 month after another.
What?
Alright, so it's a monthly Beach Bounce sequel.
How's he gonna churn one of these out every month?
I don't know!
I guess just throw $10,000 at it and make it happen.
Hire the guys from Five Nights at Freddy's. Hey.
Oh, there you go. And I'm going to read the titles of the sequels because the titles are already set.
Oh,
okay?
Okay.
Okay, so the first one, as you can imagine, is Beach Bounce 2. Alright? So that's the first one.
Okay.
The next one after that is Beauty Bounce. Alright?
Okay.
After that one is Bunny Bounce. And then Booty Bounce.
I am
I can't wait for that one.
Increasingly more alarmed yet intrigued.
I'm really curious why one of them is called Beach Bounce 2 and then we depart from that convention.
I think it's the theme. I'm going to guess. I have no idea. I'm looking at the logo to Booty Bounce and it's a treasure chest, so I guess they get on a pirate ship.
Okay.
I have mixed feelings about that because you know me and how I love butts.
And
but
pirates.
You also know me and how I love pirates.
Believe
this is
me,
your game.
There are a lot of butts in this game, believe me. I've played Beach Bounce. The latest one had more butts than I knew what to do with, so I'm wondering how I'm going to censor them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at this. I'm gonna have to take a look at this bounce.
You should
series.
check out Zen's series on his channel of Beach Bounce.
Yeah, I will do that.
Oh, it's so bad. Quickly after that, Bear Bounce. B-A-R-E, not B-E-A-R. So I think at that point they're just dispensing with any illusions of storyline, just getting straight to the bare asses, I guess.
Yeah.
Baking bounce.
Oh, jeez.
Bass bounce is a picture of a bass fish on it.
Oh, Jesus.
Bite bounce, which I believe is about vampires. Baby bounce.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
You can't do
God.
that.
I know
that's not the kind of game that people are allowed to make.
I know.
On Steam, anyway.
I have no idea, right? And the last in the series, I guess, Blizzard bounce, which I guess is coming out in December. I don't even know.
Is that going to take place in the Warcraft universe?
No, it's gonna be all Yetis, man.
It's going to be all Overwatch, is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
May all day.
Yep. So that just blew my mind when I saw it. I was looking at it. I was like, what? Why?
Yeah, Zen told me about this the other
it.
night. It was like, I can't tell you about this until the podcast. And I was like, oh, come on. I really want to know what this mind-blowing revelation is about Beach Bounce. And now I know. Wow. What a world. $40,000 fucking dollars.
Yeah, $40,000. The top tier for this Kickstarter, I'm sure you want to know what the tier rewards are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the top tier was the Ultimate Physical Bundle set, it's called. And you will receive a physical dakimakura of one of the girls from Beach Bounce, which is a body pillow with her picture on it, like half naked.
Good.
And the double-sided pillowcase. So you'll get your very own physical body pillow of this half-naked girl to hug, I guess.
Oh golly, how many of those sold?
7.
Oh.
This is $366, by the way.
Oh.
Wait, it's 366 exactly for that tier?
Yeah, it is. And I think I know why that number was so weird to me. It's actually, this is a UK studio. So I guess
okay, it's translated from...
It's translated from pounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is the UK studio making this game?
Apparently so.
I would have guessed Japan.
Yeah.
No. This is... Okay, if I'm going to describe this in one phrase, it's if Western anime fanboys did Japanese dating games. That's exactly what it is.
Good.
Japan is so hot right now.
It is. It's really humid there right now too, actually.
Yeah, it's
time of the year, you know.
bad time of year to visit.
Yeah, it actually is. You should visit in the spring or autumn.
Mm-hmm. Here's the cherry blossoms.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they didn't do like cherry... No, actually that doesn't start with B, so they can't do cherry
No, yeah,
bounce.
it's impossible.
Blossom bounce. I don't know.
There you go. Blossom
Yeah.
You gotta get a job for this guy.
Yeah.
You gotta get a gig. If you're getting $40,000, you know, without even trying.
You know what? I think they should have done like, since there are people who are really into this, they should have done like a $5,000 tier in which they can be credited as executive producer and then suggest a bounce game idea. They should have done that. Somebody would have done that.
Name a
man.
bounce.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I bet it was the same guy that bought all 7 of that highest tier reward so that he could get 7 different girlfriend pillows.
It's Notch.
I'm gonna tweet him and ask him.
Oh man.
Good.
By
the way, folks, if you want to, why don't you suggest in the comments down below what bounce you would like to see? Bonus point to you if it starts with the letter B. Bonus bounce.
Bonus
yep,
bounce.
I was just gonna say that.
Yep.
Bonus bounce. Oh man. Well,
I want to see breakdancer bounce. Personally,
Breakdancer bounce.
yeah,
boner
It's all
bounce.
like 80s theme.
yeah.
Boner bounce.
Bounce off the dragon. Oh, this podcast is going to go over long as it is already. But Green, I just wanted to point out, by the way, you know that game Trials?
Oh yeah. Oh man, I totally forgot to
Trials
mention
is
that.
so dope.
Yeah, Trials is great, and they made Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon Trials.
Mm-hmm.
What?
You didn't hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I totally
You can buy it
forgot.
on Steam right now.
I totally forgot to watch the trailer for it. I really wish I'd remembered that. But yeah, it sounds awesome. Sounds fitting.
Blood Dragon Bounce.
Oh man. Well, is that a podcast or do we have more last minute announcements?
I think that's a podcast.
All right. Well, Doxy, why don't you explain to everybody who you are and where they can find you?
Yeah, hi, I'm ZER0DOXY. I like butts and farting. You can find me at youtube.com/ZER0DOXY, twitch.tv/ZER0DOXY, and twitter.com/ZERODOXY. I play video games and talk to you like you're hanging out in the room with me. Also, you can find me playing Overwatch for the rest of my life. For every waking moment. Jeez Louise, right? But yeah, thanks so much for having me. I had a really good time.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really glad. We've been wanting to have guests on for a long time, and I'm glad I finally thought of it. Well, if you ever
feel like recycling guests, know that I will be available in the future.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and everybody should definitely go visit Doxy. I stream with her pretty often, so
it's true.
Yeah, get on
every
over
Tuesday.
There.
Well, almost every Tuesday.
Yeah, and also
close enough.
Go to check out our final episode of Head to Head before our big Head to Head hiatus over on Zen's channel. If you haven't heard about that, go over there for more information as well. That was pretty fun. We did a redux of our first ever Head to Head. So come and see us reminisce about the Head to Head series. And also on Monday, we're going to be streaming whatever the fuck next week's Game of the Week is over on my channel, twitch.tv/green9090. That'll be at 9:00 PST on Monday, which is tomorrow after this podcast comes out. So do that. Also, follow us on Google Play. Game.Game on Google Play. You can get MP3s and listen to us in your car or the shower or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to us in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Make sure you actually clean yourself while you do that. That's the point of a shower.
Yeah.
Getting dirty while getting clean. Sorry, I will stop. That's so creepy.
No, that was great. I loved it.
You could be in a bounce game.
Yeah. Yeah, you should get in on the voice acting gigs that they'll be starting.
Bubble bounce.
Bubble bounce.
Bubble bounce. Yeah, the whole game takes place inside a bubble bath. Just like an hour long in real time. It's like 24. But yeah, you are on Green's channel right now, of course. Be sure to check out his other videos while you're here. And also do go check out ZER0DOXY's video /or stream. All links will be left in the description, of course. And we will see you guys next week for another episode of Beach Bounce. No, I mean Game Not Game. Bye guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.